Hey everyone, my name is Jacob LaRiviere. I am an economist in the Office of the Chief Economist at Microsoft. Thanks for attending this session. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about how I think causal machine learning can have good impact, some opportunities to grow, and then how to make it really scale based upon my experience of 6 years at Microsoft. So here's an example of where Causal ML is having some real good impact. And so let's say that you're in the productivity app business and you're trying to figure out how should I structure my app and what features should I have in my app to make it as awesome as possible so that people like it. So let's say that you're working at Outlook and you think, well, maybe I should have my search bar to search through my email at the top. Maybe it should be further down, like closer to where the actual emails are. Well, you could do this using experimentation. You could say, well, let's put it in one location. That'll be treatment A. Another location, that's treatment B. Have some experimentation, try and infer what's better than the other. And they've done that, and there are capabilities that for that, but not every feature is sort of hooked up to that experimentation platform. And so for features that aren't, it turns out that debiased machine learning or double machine learning can recover experimental estimates of new or augmented features in an app. So this is an example where you have a rich feature set, lots of observations, and the debiased machine learning does a terrific job at recovering your experimental estimates. So unfortunately, we're not all the way there with Causal ML, and there's some opportunities to do a little bit better. And so here's a sharp example, and there's a whole class of examples that fall here. And this is about compliers. So let's say that you're a business and you have a new offer or you have a new product, and you're trying to figure out, well, what's the impact of that product on downstream revenue or on upsell or something like that. And so you're trying to say, well, for the people that adopt this product or take up this offer, I want to estimate what their impact is relative to a control group or a control user that doesn't uptake the offer. In that situation, you're going to look at your compliers. In this graph, you can see them in blue. And then you're going to, mine through all your folks and try and find some, say, selected controls. And you're going to try and match them up, look at the difference after the offer is available, compare compliers to your sort of selected controls and see how you do. Now, the challenge with this is that most people that work in business know that anytime that you have a special offer, the types of people that uptake that special offer are the same types of people that have sort of this big ramp up in their usage right beforehand. So it looks like there's a lot of positive selection, not just in terms of higher average usage, but also in that immediate pre-period before somebody complies to an offer, there's this ramp up. And so if we're trying to figure out what the average treatment effect for compliers is, and there's this pre-compliance ramp, I'm wondering if there's a scalable falsification test that causal machine learning could help us develop. So I think this is sort of an open area for research. I'm actively working with another person in our group trying to figure out if there's sort of these scalable falsification tests to understand how well your controls are doing compared to your compliers. Open question. And so I would love to see progress along this front. And if you don't like this particular example with squiggly lines, you can have a different example where you have smoother lines. Both of these figures, I should say, are real data. I've obviously removed the axes, but in both pictures, you can see that there's this pre-period ramp in the green right before somebody sort of complies and either subscribes to a subscription service or say starts using an offer that the business has put into play. And so on my wish list is a scalable falsification test that would be part of a causal ML package that would help people and help businesses try and put their resources in the right place. So finally, really quick, wrapping up. So if something like this were to work at scale to assess, like, say, what's the causal effect of compliance on usage of an app or on downstream revenue or something like that, for any of this stuff to work at scale, there's got to be real engineering work that goes in. And so I can imagine something that would be a similar setup to an experimentation platform where there's an A/B scheduler that can be automated. But here you're going to be looking at complier status. So you're going to have your marketing data set that lists complier status, and that has to be fed into sort of your Uber data set, which is going to have the types of features that you would match on, or the outcomes that you would match on if you're doing a synthetic controls type approach. In order to do something like this, where you would have like a causal ML package that's trying to help you estimate the average treatment effect on the treated, you're going to need to have a business partner who's willing to invest. That could be marketing, finance, or maybe it's a research or applied science organization. I think it's doable, but we just don't quite have the tool to do it. And then lastly, there is a hard business conversation about which use cases are the most valuable, because obviously those are going to have the highest expected benefit relative to cost of investing. So thank you very much. Hope this was useful. Looking forward to the conversation.